I'm out, I think.
All
And
right.
then, but
Well,
then, no, but then you have, so, the news was this week that, Capo Caco is coming. I think on Friday. He's either supposed to be here or he's leaving to come to New York.
I already have my
Do you,
sign. I have my sign for the airport when he comes in.
what, go back? You have your go back sign?
What have you done for
Bust?
us lately, brother?
You have your bust sign? I mean, and like we discussed it on the last show. I mean, this guy has some, underlying, illness here. And like, when I watched JD, he had like a little online Zoom meet or whatever he had that he was discussing Capo. And, they're going to deal with the doctors and what did the doctors say. But like, as soon as he comes over, he's susceptible. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, stick him in a locker room and somebody who was just in, Arizona last week and boom. Like, that's why I said it goes back to like, you almost have to get these guys out of the car, get them on the ice, have them practice and get the hell out of there or to the game and get them out of there. It just seems so risky. I don't know. And again, I've been on the other end the whole time. Once I saw these teams having the outbreaks, I'm like, oh my goodness,
But
this could be.
it's not a lot of teams.
Well, because they haven't even gotten together yet.
I know. So
They
they got a little
haven't
time.
even started yet, and teams have full outbreaks. Well, not full, but I mean, it's just you assume like once they get together. And like I said, the good thing is that these guys, at least from what I've seen, these guys aren't sick. They're just testing positive. So, I mean, that's fine. It's good to hear that they're not getting sick. It seems as though this is an illness that obviously affects if you're older, you're out of shape. And obviously these guys are professional athletes, so you assume they'd be okay. But, if you do have some type of illness, you could find yourself in trouble. So, it's just so unpredictable and, it's,
Look,
yeah, they're taking a chance here. Look, I'm
I'm
rooting
calling
for
Gary
them.
right
I'm not
now.
sitting here.
I'm calling Gary
I'm
right
not going to
now.
be
We're
one of
calling the
these
whole thing
negative.
off.
I'm not going to sit here and like call Bettman like a murderer because he wants to set this up. But it's.
Hey, the players
I'm
had
sure
to agree. The NHLPA agreed to this, pal.
No, I
But they
understand.
agreed
Well,
in
whatever.
stages.
Call everybody a murderer who wants to do it, but which I won't. But look, and you agree. I mean, it's risky, So I hope it works out. I'm rooting for it to work out
Yeah, I know we all are, and this is the
for
patient.
for my own entertainment values, not because I care about the health of Capo Caco. Because I want to watch a full run to the Stanley Cup for the Rangers.
That's all we want. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who goes down.
Capo
Stepping
went
over.
down. All right, next guy up. Next
Yeah.
guy up.
Stepping over.
Lance Anderson, you're up. Oh wait, no, you're not because you're in Sweden.
Oh man. Well, what about Leas?
Whatever. Next subject.
That's awesome. I'll check that right off. Woo-hoo-hoo. Well, what I tell you, let's hey, look. All right, hold on to your everybody's going under with the Kanuka virus here. Kratzov, just hearing that name and the thought of him coming to camp and getting a shot and playing. What's your take on that?
I'm excited. I'm real excited to see him get a chance. I mean, he had the issues earlier in the year. He didn't make the team. He pouted a little bit, ran back home to Russia. But he came back. I give him credit for, looking himself in the mirror or whatever it is that happened. And, came back, ate a little humble pie. And, from all reports, and I don't really watch the Wolf Pack very often or at all. But all reports were that he was working hard and in the games, he was scoring a bit, putting up some points, but you heard that, defensively he was being responsible. He was working hard, and really that's all. Look, that's what you want for these young guys who are learning that they're out there, working hard, putting in the effort, and you hope it works out for the kid. I love that they're bringing him in to either be on the team or at least try to get a spot on the team for this, playoff run here or play-in round, at least initially. So I think it's great that he's back. I hope that, he appreciates this opportunity and takes advantage of it.
Well, that's all he can do, right?
And if he doesn't, he can go back to the KHL. Whatever. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, you know what? What I found interesting, Paulie, and we talked about this, or I talked about this all year about, this team and the patience, and JD had his little online video conference, and he said he had it about Kakko, and he had one about Kravtsov, and you sent it to me, which I watched. But at the end of the Kakko one, he really went into what the organization was trying to do this year with these young players. And again, he talked about patience, he talked about development, and he talked about how not every organization is willing to wait for these guys to develop and put in the time. They want immediate returns. And it was really good. I don't know if you saw that. It was the end of the Kakko video I saw online. And he really went into what the organization was trying to do with these young guys and not, really expedite things as far as their development, but letting it play out. And they feel as that is the best way to go with it. And, earlier in the season, when I was defending Quinn and what the organization was doing by playing guys like Brendan Smith, over a Kravtsov, because that's what they're trying to do. They're being patient. They're taking their time, and they're trying to build this thing the right way. They don't want to put these guys in position that they're not ready for. We saw that time and again with this organization with, Jamie Lundmark or Manny Malhotra, where these guys were not ready, for the limelight to be in the NHL, but they're high draft picks, so let's just throw them out there, and it doesn't work. So, they have a plan. JD has a plan. This is a smart guy who, since he's been in the front office, has had a ton of success. And, for anybody, on Twitter, to be, questioning what this guy is doing and what this organization is doing is absolutely ridiculous. They have a plan, and this plan isn't going to play out, is going to play out, over the next couple of years. Isn't this year and it's over, and Kravtsov needs to be an all-star, and Kakko needs to be scoring 40 goals, and Elias Anderson needs to be, on the top line. It's going to play out, and some of the guys are going to make it and some aren't. And, look, the things with Elias Anderson right now are disappointing, but I don't think his time with the Rangers are over. He didn't want to come back yet, and maybe there's still some issues that they got to work out, and it could be a future here with this team. But the Rangers are willing to be patient with these guys. They were patient with Kakko. They didn't just cut ties with them. They were more than happy to welcome him back. And from all reports, they've been talking with Elias Anderson, trying to do the right thing, trying to get him back in the fold, and that's awesome. This is what we've all been waiting for these years. And, I think Ranger fans should be excited. That video really got me fired up. It was like a final 2 minutes where JD really went over what they were doing and, put me in a good state of mind for this team and where they're going.
Sounds good, buddy. I'm excited for Kravtsov to take Capo's spot on the team. You beat him out for the spot, man.
Goodness.
Look,
gracious.
The more the merrier. This is great. This kind of was answering one of my questions about, how they're going to pull this tournament off. Where does the AHL guys, the younger guys, fit in? Does Miller get a chance to come on here as well? What kind of team will, every coach, I guess, in this league, with you talking about guys testing and positive and everything. I think it was like 5 days ago, the report came out, Katie, it was like 200 players were tested initially and 11 players came back testing positive. So it's still a small number, and again, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But as far as the Rangers and the team that they have and the team that we watch this year and JD in the future, I mean, it's all great stuff. I mean, I'm sitting here just kind of listening to you and everything, and it's just like, you get a little angry. And I'm sure that's just for everyone. Like I said, it's not being selfish. And like I said, bigger things are more important than sports and games and stuff like that. But, we're all human. We all love our games. We all love our sports. And we all loved our normal way of life, which was going on there about 4 months ago. And the fact that, we talk about the team and the prospect of this tournament and also the future. And the thing is we have no idea where anything is going to lay up here in the next, let alone 2 months, let alone 6 months, as far as, things getting back to normal and crowds and everything else. And if you look at the numbers statistically, I mean, the cases, are over 2 million. And we're a country of 370 million people here. And then, yes, every single death sucks. And God rest everybody's soul. And for anybody out there who's listening who has family and friends who have lost it, it's no doubt. It's horrible. It's tough. But when you look at the numbers, it's almost still like a very small number, and all of us here are just trying to figure out one way to put an extra foot out the door, to do an extra thing, to start going to restaurants here and everything else. And this big thing called sports and everything else is and concerts and all this stuff is still like down the road, and we have no idea where it's going to lay up. And here we are sitting about talking about it, and the prospect of this happening and how to make sense, how to enjoy it. The Premier League started this week. Manchester United played again today, and they played the other day. And I watched the first game back the other day, and I liked it. I think it was kind of cool. They had crowd noise. I guess they spent some time and mixing it. It was kind of like, they took it from a video game, and they just have a guy there, and he was waiting for like the different, dramatic parts of the game or whatever, and they would bring it up. But it kind of gave that element, like if you were watching the game and there were people in the stands, they had the stands covered and all that stuff. But I kind of dug it. It was pretty cool, and you did have the option to watch it without the sound too as well. So that was like the first glimpse into what it's going to be like to start watching the sports we really like I said, hockey and baseball and everything else. And it's just kind of weird to have to get used to this thing.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I missed the soccer. You enjoyed it? Like, did you feel like something was missing, or like how did it come off like on TV?
I mean, the guys themselves, to me, like I said, if you're watching it on TV, right? So what they did was, for the most part, yeah, they're going to crowd shots, obviously, during a game, during moments, dramatic moments and everything. And then when, just in soccer alone, and when guys get pulled down, or if a shot is, or the possession goes the other way and you hear that, that's basically your general crowd noise that's going on. So, but when they kind of shrunk it, so they weren't going to the stands as much, so you're just pretty much focused on the game. And, when we watch hockey and everything else, too, it's kind of the same thing. The camera's going to be pretty much following the game, so you're pretty much – I was looking at it like, hey, this isn't so bad because you're really just watching the players in the play anyway. I don't know what it's like for the players to be – it must be like a ghost town just to be in there, and all you're hearing is the cleats and the ball slapping off the feet and all that other stuff, and there's just, like, no atmosphere. But for me, watching the game, I thought it was pretty cool. It was a little weird, but I found it enjoyable, and it's great that they're playing, and it's at least something for us to watch, and so far, so good as far as I didn't get a chance to watch the Spanish League. I know Barcelona's been back and everything else. I haven't watched any of that yet, but for first goal around for me, I thought it wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it. It was okay.
How was the level of play? I mean, was it up to par? I mean, did you feel as though maybe not having the crowd there was, had an impact on the players at all, or it just seemed like a regular game?
I think that's way too early even to tell, because these guys they've been out of shape, or they haven't played gameplay. Yeah. So, I mean, just if it was just a regular season, they'd still need a couple of games to get it under their legs and stuff like that and get things going. Yeah. So. For me, I take it simple. Just the fact that you're watching the game, I'm not going to sit here and gripe and bemoan the quality of the level of play right now because it's too early. I think more than anything, it was just pretty cool. Let's just say for me as a Manchester United fan, just to be following the team account and seeing the players again and seeing them play, and just that whole the league is back, and there's some games